This video is your introduction to the Spectra Products Brake Inspector System, an electronic in-cab air brake diagnostic system. Brake Inspector will eliminate the #1 maintenance problem facing fleets today. In the trucking and transportation industry, the #1 road safety issue is brake defects, specifically out-of-adjustment brakes. Did you know that 68% of out-of-service violations are brake-related defects? 54% of brake defects are out-of-adjustment brakes. 67% of these brake defects occurred on vehicles with automatic slack adjusters. Automatic slack adjusters give drivers and mechanics a false sense of security, but statistics speak for themselves. In addition to showing brakes that are in adjustment, Brake Inspector identifies foundation brake problems including non-activating brake chambers, slow-activating brake chambers, non-releasing brakes, slow-releasing brakes, brakes approaching the adjustment limit, brakes reached or past the adjustment limit, and weak or broken parking brake springs. Brake Inspector has a positive impact on your maintenance costs with fewer unnecessary brake adjustments. Using Brake Inspector will preempt costly repairs by identifying existing and potential brake problems. Using Brake Inspector, you can balance brake adjustment at each wheel end and extend tire life. Productivity will increase because your drivers will be spending less time on pre-trip brake inspection. There will be less downtime from roadside detention due to out-of-service infractions. Your mechanics will spend less time locating and diagnosing brake faults. Equipment is on the road quicker with less downtime in the shop. Brake Inspector can improve your safety record by helping to eliminate brake-related roadside infractions and resulting fines. This means no brake-related demerit points. Brake Inspector will increase driver confidence in the safety of the vehicle. You will demonstrate to regulatory and inspection agencies that you are committed to safety, and you gain the public relations benefit of operating a safe fleet. Let's take a closer look at the Brake Inspector Air Brake Diagnostic System. The in-cab module displays up to 4 axles with LEDs at each wheel end, representing a specific brake chamber. The chambers are identified by axle and by left side and right side orientation. The tricolor LEDs emit green, yellow, or red signals indicating the type of brake default and the wheel end location. The entire display module is encased in an impact-resistant housing that is sealed with a weatherproof epoxy compound. The sensor contains an automotive-grade microprocessor and Hall effect switches activated by pushrod movement when air brakes are applied. Electronic components are encased in a durable, impact-resistant Styron enclosure that is environmentally sealed with epoxy for reliable performance in the most severe operating conditions. A high-impact Styron housing is used to secure the sensor which snaps into the housing. A zinc-plated heavy-duty steel bracket is provided to mount the sensor housing to the brake chamber. The main bracket attaches the sensor assembly to the brake chamber. The companion to the sensor is a magnetic clevis pin that replaces the existing clevis pin. A powerful neodymium magnet at the end of the clevis pin activates the sensor as brakes are applied and released. The Brake Inspector kit includes a junction unit called a crossover that provides 3 or 4 connection points. Crossovers are made from durable, impact-resistant Styron and contain a circuit board that is sealed with epoxy for complete weatherproofing. A cable extension with male connectors on each end is used to link sensors, crossovers, and the display module, forming a daisy-chained harness. The cable extensions have super seal connectors that are waterproof when mated with the crossover or sensor. They also have a heat-resistant nylon loom for additional protection. Turn on the ignition and Brake Inspector is activated. When the foot pedal is depressed, the display module LEDs will indicate the brake fault status with a green, yellow, or red light at each wheel end position. When the air brakes are applied, the pushrod moves the magnetic clevis pin across the face of the sensor and the display module LEDs are illuminated. At each wheel end, a status LED will light solid green indicating that brakes are in proper adjustment. As the pushrod travel reaches 1/8 of an inch from the brake adjustment point, a solid yellow LED will light up, and when the limit is reached or exceeded, a solid red LED will alert the driver that the brakes need to be adjusted. If the brake fails to activate, a flashing red LED will indicate this problem. If a solid green, yellow, or red LED remains on after the brakes are released, the push rod at the wheel end where the LED is still illuminated has not retracted, indicating a dangerous hung brake condition. When the air brakes are released, the LED will automatically extinguish if no faults are indicated. The display module LEDs will show brake fault conditions for 15 seconds and then extinguish to avoid distracting the driver of the vehicle. Brake Inspector has the ability to indicate if a system malfunction occurs. When the brakes are applied, a flashing green LED indicates the sensor and clevis pin are not aligned. Realignment must be completed for proper performance monitoring. Similarly, if a sensor ceases to operate, a flashing yellow LED will occur at the affected wheel end and a new sensor is required for proper performance monitoring. When the Brake Inspector system starts up, it automatically enters into driver mode. When the brakes are applied, only fault conditions are shown on the display gauge. In the event there are no faults, the LEDs will not illuminate. By pushing the Mode button, the operator can activate Maintenance Mode to show both brake fault and no fault conditions. Brake Inspector stores the last brake application before the ignition is turned off. The last brake application will be displayed when the Brake Inspector is in driver mode or maintenance mode. While the system is operating, push the toggle button once to review the last brake application. Note that all wheel end LEDs will light up, indicating the stroke status and fault status. To recap, Brake Inspector is an air brake diagnostic system that identifies brake chambers operating within DOT brake stroke adjustment limits, identifies out-of-adjustment brake stroke conditions for all vehicle brakes, alerts operating and maintenance staff to faults in the foundation brake system, including non-activating brakes and brakes that have failed to release. Brake Inspector will provide your fleet with real maintenance and productivity savings with fewer unnecessary brake adjustments, fewer costly repairs, and faster pre-trip brake inspections. Brake Inspector means a safer fleet with fewer roadside detentions, fewer expensive DOT fines, and improved confidence for drivers, maintenance, and the driving public. Call Spectra Products today for more information on Brake Inspector and other products that reduce maintenance costs and enhance equipment safety. Or we will put you in touch with a Spectra dealer in your area. Spectra Products Incorporated, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Toll free, 888-381-2355. In the Greater Toronto Area, 416-252-2355. Our email address is info@spectra-ssa.com or visit our website, www.spectra-ssa.com.